Hi guys! Today I want to make this ring with you, but before I start, I already put my beads out, so let me put them back in that place. I want to share some happy news with you. Well, that's happy news for me anyway. A long time ago in 2011, I got my beads at Foxden, and I still have a little package, as you can see here, from them. They have white cubes in there, but I wanted to make another piece for the contest for Fire Mountain Gems, for the seed bead contest, and I started making these. Let me zoom that out a bit. There. I started making these archangels. I got 3 of them so far, and for this I used hex cut 24 karat gold delicas. And I couldn't find them anywhere anymore, and Foxden was out of business. I got these from Foxden. I bought them by accident. I needed to make a bracelet, but I needed to have bought the regular gold lined delicas, and instead I bought the hex cut. My bad. But in the end, it's all good. I checked them out on the site of Fire Mountain Gems, how much they would cost, and well, let me just say that, and that's enough of that. And then I googled it, and lo and behold, I bumped into Foxden again. And I thought, well, what the hell, you know, and they went out of business like in 2011, long before I went on YouTube. So I sent them an email. I said, didn't you guys go out of business? And she said yes, and I got the whole story what happened, and she's back now, and I'm very happy, and she's got the hex cut delicate golds again, and I just received my first payment from Craft Art Edu. Remember that? That's been like 3 years ago when I made, or 2 years ago when I made videos for them. So I had some money, and I just bought 50 grams of hex cut gold to finish my necklace for Fire Mountain Gems. So I'm very pleased. If you only need Miyuki beads, I suggest you check that out. If you need other stuff, of course it would be stupid to pay shipping twice. So, but if you only need Miyuki beads, go out, check out our website. I will leave a link underneath the video, and then you can have a look yourself and see if their prices are fair. And I think they really are. Shipping is not too bad either. But let's get started. And I want to make this ring with you guys, and I also wanted to, oh yeah, I wanted to show you something before we continue that. I made these earrings, and I made this pendant, and I sent that pattern into Beadwork magazine. So if that gets rejected, I will make a video of it, but it will not be on my website. It will be on the YouTube channel of Potomac Beads. So sort of joined forces with Potomac Beads, and I wanted to do something in return anyway for all the round duos they sent me. I really love the bead. So I'm going to make a video for them, for their website, and I don't know if it will just be the pattern, if they want to keep that in sort of the same quality. So you might see Ellie, that's the lady that does the videos on Potomac Beads, redo that pattern and credit me, or you might just see my video there and say, what the hell are you doing on that channel? So in that case, you know. Yes, been working a lot with Potomac Beads, and I'm really enjoying the working together with them, and I might have some more news later on about what's going on. So far I haven't spread it. I don't want to jinx anything. So, but anyway, let's finally get to this ring. You will need, what do you need? First of all, you need some size 8/0 seed beads. I got Antique Pearl Ceylon here, size 8/0. You will need, let me put that aside, so I know what I used. You will need Opaque Matte Light Rose, if you want to keep the same colors, size 11/0. You will need Galvanized Rose, 11/0. You will need inside color lined Fuchsia. And there I go again. People think I pronounce it wrong. But let me say this, guys. Fuchsia, if you look that up, then that name is actually, there was a German guy, and the Fuchsia color has been called after him. So he was German, his name was Fuchs, so this color is called Fuchsia. And I don't care how you pronounce it in English, Spanish, or whatever other language, I'm pronouncing it right. So I'm gonna be stubborn about that. When it's French, I'll pronounce it French. I'm using some Superduo Shimmer from NatashaKralen.nl. She's in the Netherlands, so if you're in the Netherlands, that's a good site to also go to. And I am using Ceylon Pearl White. And I'm also using 8mm pearls. Can I do it in 6mm? Yes, but you will have to redesign the pattern because I haven't done it in 6, so I don't know what it will look like. I'm using 4mm Bicones, 4 of them, rose. I'm using 2 4mm Bicones in Alabaster rose, and I am also using Wildfire. Can't I do this with Fireline? Yes, you can, but let me show you what will happen. See, this ring stands up by itself. Huh? It's great when you have a booth. You can just put it like that and put it on display. You don't need a ring standard for anything, or you know, it's perfect. The sides are very stiff because of the Wildfire. If you put the Fireline in there, it will collapse. It will either go forward or backwards. So you will have like a sloppy kind of ring, and the beads that are on the side will kind of go up and curl in. So I wouldn't suggest it. Of course, you can do it for a test run, but you know, if you say like, okay, I like that, I want to make more of those, please get the Wildfire. That's the Wildfire 0.06, and that's 15mm, 50 yards. Okay, so oh, that's 10 lb just in case. That's important. You've taken about an arm span and a half wide. What is that? You just span your arms wide until, like, you give somebody a hug, and then you pull it again up to your heart, and that's about an arm span and a half. And that's easier than to just say 1.5 meters, or try and figure out what that's in inches. I use John James needle size 10. So let's get started. I'm gonna first put a pearl on there, and we're also going to put like a size 8. What was that called again? Oh, size 8. Oh, I need to put my packages up because I keep forgetting the name. Pearl Ceylon, size 8O. Pearl again, Ceylon. Pearl, Ceylon, pearl. And one more Ceylon. Okay, now I'm going to pull that down to the end. And I'm going to leave a considerable amount of space because I want to set up the ring band on the other side with a little bit of end till. So, and that way you work it together. The white Ceylon pearls are for the ring band, by the way, so we're not going to use that. I'm going to take this ring off and we'll work each there. It's very comfortable. I'm not saying it's not comfortable, but I don't want to kind of disfocus you from flashing that ring in your eye. I'm going to do a double knot. 1, 2, and I'm too lazy to actually put another needle on the other side, so I'm just going to go through with the end tail into the pearl, which is easily done when you have, and then I'm going to pull my knot into the pearl. It's easily done when you use Wildfire. I'm going to use my finger again. I'm going to get 1 galvanized rose, put it on there. I'm going to get 1 Opaque matte light rose, put it on there. I'm going to take my 4mm bicone, put it on there. And I'm going to get another galvanized rose and put it on there. Now, of course, you can do this with a needle, but as I said, I'm kind of lazy. Turn that around, make sure that that's the left side. And now I'm going to do exactly the same with my needle side. So that's my right side. Galvanized, matte, bicone, and then I'm going to cross into that galvanized that's on the other thread. I'm going to pull that through. I'm going to turn that around. Now we're going to do this in mirror. So we're going to first pick up the bicone, then we're going to pick up the matte, then we're going to pick up the galvanized, like that, and just kind of pull that down. Because it's easier when you take the end till and you do that you go through that pearl first, and then you can put the needle through. So on the other side also, 1 bicone, 1 matte, and 1 galvanized. And I'm going to first put that in there. And then I'm going to go with my needle in there. Okay. Glad we got that done. Now we're going to pick up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 antique pearl Ceylon. I'm going to go back in the pearl. Next we're going to pick up 4 matte rows, and we're going to pick up 1 galvanized and 4 matte again. 1, 2, 3, 4 matte. Okay, so you got 4, 1, 4. And we're going to go back into that pearl again. Like that. Going to go into the 8/0 and into the pearl, and it's easier if you just go on the back like that. And just kind of turn it around. Flop it if you have to. Pick up 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8/0s. Back into the pearl. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4 matte, 1 galvanized, and 4 matte again. And back into pearl. And we're going to do that all the way around. So again, into the 8/0, into the pearl. And if it's easier, just take your back side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make sure that when you do this one, that you turn it around again after that, because the mat goes on top of there. 4 again. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the pearl. And I'm already sticking through the 8/0, so that's good. Get two stitches done in one. And into the pearl. And what's happening with this end tail is that you need to get it out of the way the whole time, and because we're going to make part of the ring band with that, you can't cut it off or work it away. So 5 times pearl, Ceylon 8/0, and 4 times matte plus galvanized plus 4 times matte, and back in the pearl. And into the 8/0, into the pearl, and now we're at the beginning again. So now we're going to turn it around into the 8/0, at the needle a galvanized, into 2 8/0s, put next at the needle 1 Superduo, go into 1 8/0, and then you turn that around and you go into the galvanized on the front, go back in that 8/0 and make sure that your thread doesn't go around it. So make sure that thread's on the front. And then you can turn it around again. Adding 1 Superduo and going into 2. And now you might be wondering why not just add the Superduos when you add the 5 seed beads 8/0. Well, that's very simple, because this, if you would put this in between here now, it will bump right into, it won't bump into the 8/0, but if you put the Superduo in between these 5 seed beads, then it will bump in there, and then your bicone will be like crooked like that. So that's why I don't do that, because I already tried that. So next, another galvanized again, into the 8/0, another galvanized, up to a Superduo, 1 to the front, picking up that galvanized and going back in that 8/0. Turning it around again, Superduo, galvanized, galvanized, 2, Superduo, 1, turn, pick it up, in the 8/0. And back. Superduo again. Galvanized again. Get that thread out of the way. Galvanized again. 2, Superduo, 1, flip, galvanized, 8/0, and the last Superduo, galvanized, 8/0, up into galvanized to 8/0, Superduo 8/0, Superduo 8/0, galvanized. And now we're going to add 1 mat in between the 2 galvanized. So mat, and we're going from galvanized to galvanized. Up and around. And this way you also position your Superduos a little better. Mat again. And around. and around. And the last one. And now we're going up 2 and the Superduo. The 8/0 and the Superduo. And now we're going to turn it around and go into the Superduo top hole. 1 Fuchsia 15/0, 1 Rose Alabaster, 1 Fuchsia into the other hole. Now it's Fuchsia, Galvanized, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Ceylon, 8, Galvanized, and Fuchsia into the next. And you see this will be curved, but we're going to push that down later on like that. So that's going to be cool. Now we need a ring band. And I'm going for the ring band. It's 4 Galvanized. And now we're going to pick up 1 Fuchsia, 1 Galvanized, 5 Ceylon 8/0s, 1 Galvanized, 1 Fuchsia, and in there. Now we're going to do the opposite side of this one, so that's Fuchsia, Rose Alabaster, and Fuchsia. I go in there, and we're going to pick up Fuchsia, Galvanized, and 5 Ceylon pearls again, plus a Galvanized and a Fuchsia in there. This side, ring band. Can't you do a Bicone there also? Well, you probably could with a 6mm, but let me show you that again. When you have this ring on and you close your fingers, you can see that that Bicone would be right in between your fingers, which would be very, very annoying. So I had it there, I took it out, annoyed the hell out of me, and now it's perfect. So 4 more, 1, 2, 3, 4 Galvanized in there, and then again Fuchsia, Galvanized, 5 Ceylon, Galvanized, Fuchsia, and we're going into the Bicone, the Fuchsia Bicone Alabaster, into the Fuchsia, and we're going to go into the Fuchsia. It's better if you can just kind of push it through in one push, but sometimes it will be annoying. So, Fuchsia, Galvanized, 3 times Ceylon. And I'll make sure that everything is kind of tight like that. Pick up a Fuchsia. Go into the bottom mat right there. Picking up a Fuchsia. Going back in that same bead on the other side. Picking up 3. Going into Galvanized Fuchsia. And into the Superduo. Pull that tight. Now we're going to go through the 4 Galvanized. And let's see if we can push it through right now. Superduo, Fuchsia, Galvanized, 3 Ceylon. And again, Fuchsia, into that matte Fuchsia, into that same bead from the other side, pushing through 3 and into as far as you can get. Just make sure you get them all. It's going to be looking awful terrible if you just kind of skip the bead, go underneath it or something. Okay, Fuchsia, Superduo, Galvanized, and 3 times Ceylon. And we're going down again with 1 Fuchsia into that middle mat there. And into that Superduo. Now, 4 more here. And out of the 3rd, get the Fuchsia, the matte, Fuchsia in there, and just kind of move forward. I'm going to take my needle off the long end of the thread, and I'm going to put it on the end till. So what I need to do is get this end till over here to my ring band. That means I'm coming out of the pearl, I'm going into 2 8/0s, and a Superduo. I'm going to go into 8/0 in the middle, and the Superduo, if it will let me. Yep, got that. Going into 2 8/0s and the Galvanized. Going into the matte. Going up in the Fuchsia. And into, better read it, turn around, much easier, into the 3 8/0s, the Galvanized, and the Fuchsia. And then I'm going back into the Superduo. And I'm going to pick up these 4 Galvanized. And now the Ceylon pearls come on out, because this is where we make our ring band. Picking up 1 Ceylon white 11/0, going back in the first of the 4 Galvanized, and I like my ladder stitch, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go into the white again, and then I'm going to pick up my next Ceylon white. I'm going into the 2nd of the Galvanized, pull that through, and I'm going to put my thread in between there and into that white Ceylon that we just added. Pick up another white, pick up the 3rd Galvanized, pull that through, already putting my thread there, going in, picking up another one, going into the last one, and putting my thread there, going in. Now normally if you use Fireline, you go up and down and then you turn it around. But I can't do that because the Wildfire is too thick, and if I do that I will pop beads. So I'm just going to turn it around and make sure that everything is nice and tight. Picking up another white Ceylon, I just turned my project around, going into the first, and we're just going to repeat what we already did and into that Ceylon. Picking up another one, in the second, put the thread in between there and push that through. Picking up another one, into the third one, and in there. Picking up another one, in the fourth one, pull that through. Make sure that's I pull that thread in between the beads and then hold it tight so that the thread doesn't go around the other beads. Turn it around again and starting all over again. And then make sure that that's really tight. And this way you also are getting the thread out of the way when you're working on the other side. Because you know the end tail is always in the way. It's been in the way the whole project, so. And this requires some neat and tight beading because you don't go up and down. Because normally when you go up and down through the beads again, you tidy everything out. So you can't do that right now because you got Fireline, and you still need to work the end tail away. So you still need to go through there. And if you already go through there once, then there's no way you're going to get your end tail through there. Just do about 4, and then let's go get to the other side. So we're going to put the working thread on the needle again. And we're going into the Fuchsia. Into the Superduo, the Fuchsia. Going to go into the Galvanized. Now, because I now need to go here, and I do not want to go through these 15 O's more often than I have to, I need to turn back, need to find my way over here. So I'm going through the 3, going down this 15 O Fuchsia, going in to the mat, going into the 15O, the 8O, and I'm going to turn it around now, because basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the pearls again. Got my 8O, good. So you also go through the 8O, the pearl, So we're coming out of this 8O, which is on the side of the pearl with the alabaster, okay? Going to move up in the mat, move up in the Fuchsia, we're going back in that turn it around, middle, picking up 3, going through the galvanized, the Fuchsia, and through the 8 O's, the galvanized, the Fuchsia, and the 4 galvanized. So we're going to do the same on this side. Just basically going to do our ladder stitch, 2 rows. Okay. Got 2 rows done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up 5 galvanized, and we're going into the 8/0, but push that galvanized aside that's there. So, and then just go through the galvanized and the Fuchsia at the end. Superduo. Fuchsia. Alabaster. Fuchsia. Oh, I hope they don't break. Well, they didn't break the first time, so why would they break now? Going into the Superduo again. The Fuchsia, very hard to pick that up if you don't push that right through. Fuchsia galvanized all the way to the other end, coming out of the 8/0. I'm gonna put that like that. I got 4, so I'll take it if I can get it. And then pick up that last one. Now 5 galvanized again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go into the second one. Second row right there on the side. Pick up another 5 galvanized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now push that galvanized aside and just go through the 5 and the galvanized and the Fuchsia at the end. Into the Superduo. Fuchsia, Alabaster, Fuchsia. Superduo, Fuchsia. And push it through coming out of that fifth 8-0 and 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back in those 4 Ceylon pearls. Now you need to make your lattice stitch fit the other side, where the end is, right here. And then I will show you how to attach both ends. So I would say pause me now until you get that done. Okay. And now, I know this fits because I already did one ring. I have to match the two sides. They have to be attached to each other. Okay, so we're going to put these like that. We're going to go into the first of where the end tail is on the other side. And we're going to go back into the first one. Pull that together. Going back in 1 and 2 of the other side. Going back in number 2 only of the top. I'm going to try and keep that end tail out of the way. I'm going to go in 2 and 3 of the side of the end tail. Into number 3. Only number 3. Watch out, you don't go through any of the thread that's underneath there. Almost went through there. Number 3. Into 3 and 4 at the side of the end tail. Into number 4. And into number 4. And that was that. Now, with this one being still on the needle, just go through all 4 of the row that you just attached, and now just kind of zigzag, but carefully. If you can't push through, don't force it. If you feel it go through easily, then just go through. And just kind of zigzag your thread away. And you can go all the way back to the end to make it tighten it up a little better, you know, make it a little tighter. I do suggest though, before you go zigzagging, that you fit it first after you attach, because if that's not correct, then you can still take that out and add another row, or delete another row before you go zigzagging, but I already know this fits. And how do you know if it fits when you're making it for someone else? Well, you will just have to do 2 rows and just leave it open, and then just kind of fit it around the finger, see if that attaches, and then do that 1 row, attach it, make them fit again, and tell you if it's too loose or if it's tight or if that is perfect. Okay. And as I said, I already know this fits mine. Right now my hands are warm, so it's a little swollen, it's a little hard to get on, but when my hands are a little colder, it will come off easier. It will be much looser. So this is perfect for me. And I'm going to also take care of this end tail. Zigzag that around a bit carefully, because I did pop 1 bead. Let me see, in a previous project. See, I've been zigzagging too much right here. I got 3 instead of 4. Right here I got 3 instead of 4. But this wasn't the end project anyway, so be careful, be careful, be careful. Can't say it enough. And make sure you push through 4 right away, because pushing through 3 is too hard to get that one bead through later on, and you might actually break your bead. So when you do about 4, careful, 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 you can't cut that off. And that goes for the other side too. I just want to kind of tempt the gods. I'm not going through this one because the thread is already gone through there when I added the 5 pearls, or the 5 galvanized, so I'm just going to go see if I can still go back. One more time, carefully. And you can feel that that is getting hard to do, so I'm not going to tempt the gods any further and cut that off. Now I got a lot of antil left over, but not everybody has such a small finger as I have, so I think that the size of an arm span and a half is pretty good for everybody, about every size. And well, now I got 2. I don't know what to do with 2, but I got 2. Can wear them next to each other. Oh, this one, by the way, also looks pretty cool when it goes on the index finger. So it's pretty cool either way, depending where you want to wear it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time, and that will probably be on Potomac's channel. Bye guys! Let's get started. We want to make this ring now. And whenever my doggy's done scratching the carpet, I'll continue with that. Ceylon, Antiques Pearl Ceylon. And back in the pearl. And back in the pearl. And we're going to do that bumping into any other threads. So adding that Ceylon again, going into 8/0, Ceylon, 8/0, 2 of them, a Superduo on there on your needle. Going into the